Shit, Tupac's greatest hits. Speaking of changes, I wanna change this game like I'm losing in Madden, 30-6. Like that, y'all. Some people they fiend for things they've already seen. I think they wanted me to be like that, y'all. But it wasn't my scene. I started doing these things that made them say they can't do it like that, y'all. Hell no, they can't do it like that, y'all. Hell no, they can't do it like that, y'all.
What is up, everyone, and welcome back to Spokast. It has been a while since I released a guest interview, and that's for a couple of reasons, but I'm not going to bore you with that. Today, we're here to talk about YP. He is an emerging hip-hop artist based right here in the Spokane, Coeur d'Alene region, and he's known for his unique sound and compelling storytelling through his music. He started music at a very young age, and he initially explored his creative talents with hip-hop dance before becoming a hip-hop artist. His stage name, YP, which stands for Young Prospect, was coined early in his hip-hop days and by a friend of the podcast, Mike Barnes, a.k.a. Isla Matisse. And you'll hear that story in the podcast. But YP is also a part of a hip-hop collective here in Spokane called SKEEMN, which was started by Bendy. He is the producer and originator of SKEEMN, and YP is also a frequent collaborator with the Affiliated Crew and with the likes of Top. He actually has a single coming out with Top in the near future. I'm not sure when, so stay tuned for that. I hear he'll be announcing it sometime in the next month or so. But YP he was such an awesome guy to get on the show and just talk about what he's doing and how he values the community and uplifting and inspiring within the music scene and pushing for a collective rise in talent and creativity in the Pacific Northwest. And I got to say, YP is not just an artist, but he's a figure of resilience and motivation. And I feel like he's pushing boundaries in the hip-hop scene here in Spokane. And this is a big part of what makes the hip-hop scene in Spokane so special. And I've got to see him perform a couple of times. Got to see him at the Life's Crazy House show. Got to see him at the Chameleon. And I also got to see him perform with the Affiliated Crew and the SKEEMN crew at the High Rise party. So go find his music on Spotify and Apple Music, and you can also find that here in the description of the podcast. But I'm looking forward to you listening to this show, and I'm excited to get back into my interviews with my guests. I will have another episode coming out on Monday, and so stay tuned for that. But before we get into the show, I got to give a shout out to my Patreon supporters, and they are Louis Garcia, Nathan O'Brien, Pia Hollenberg, Gina Campbell, Enrique de la Novelle, Joe Williamson, Joe Van Voorhis, Elizabeth Geyer, Abby Pointer, Gina Campbell, Tyler Poole, Judy Pointer, Amber Sparks, Luke Baumgarten, Valerie Ozier, Nick Spanger, and Elizabeth and Bill Pointer. Thank you all again so much for being Patreon supporters. If you want to become a Spokast tonight and support what I'm doing here, visit patreon.com/Spokast. Well, I will not keep you any longer. Here is the hip-hop artist YP. This is Spokast. But now I'm sitting here with YP. He is a local hip-hop artist. And when I say that, I always say that wrong. I want to say you are a locally based hip-hop artist because I don't ever want to call someone like, hey, you're a local rapper. Like that sounds, it's not what you are. Well, let's get into that real quick. Cause that's like one of my first questions. YP, like where did you get that name? Because I kind of heard the story on a Friday night at the Chameleon. Our friend Mike Barnes, Isla Matisse, was kind of telling me, but why don't you tell me the story of how you got the name YP?
Yeah. So, I went to school with his little sister, and she was like my best friend at the time. And he pulled through, I think, to like her birthday party or something. I've known him as like I know she told me that he'd make music and stuff, and I'm like, okay, because back then, I actually like was a hip hop dancer before making music.
Okay,
yeah,
nice.
Yeah, I really took it before I got old and had a kid. I was actually pretty good. We'll talk about that too. But,
I wanted you'd love to talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I ended up going to the studio at his house, and he had a little closet studio, you know what I mean? And dude, he was crazy, man. Like, he would sit there and like hear the beat and then type out his verse on the computer.
He was telling me, I need to, and forgive me, Mike, you have to come on Spokast very, very soon. It's going to happen, because he was telling me he can type as fast as he can rap.
That's wild.
And I was like, is that, I can't type very fast at all. But like, if he's like, I'm like, that's crazy. That'd be such a good talent to have.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. I wish I could write. Like, it's hard for me to write music. I try, but it's not really my comfort space. I'm more of a freestyler with my stuff. So
gotcha. So he gave you the name, but how did the name come to be?
So I was just rapping, and I think I said something about Prospect or something. Oh, man, it was so long ago. But he was like, Young Prospect, YP, and I'm like, shit. All right.
Were you not rapping at the time? Like, you were just messing around?
I was trying to rap, and it was horrible. But then over the years, like, I just started working on my craft and perfecting it, and then
like any good rapper, like you. I love hearing stories about, like, because like it's so true. Like, when you're young, or even like because you were like in high school, right?
Yeah, middle school.
Oh, middle school.
Yeah,
oh,
middle
wow.
school,
And
yeah.
so how long ago was this? Like 10 plus years ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So what brought you to Spokane then? Like,
so like I was saying, I used to like hip hop dance and stuff. And
Yeah.
I'd come out with old homies back in the day to go to the all city dances.
yeah.
And
What are all city dances?
So-
I say yes, like I know what it is, but
No,
I
yeah.
kind of heard about it, but I don't know what it is.
So I guess they were like mixers for like teenagers and stuff. Like pretty much like a kid
Oh,
club
like up
type
at
of,
Swax?
yeah, that type,
Like
type
that-
of deal. Yeah,
yeah,
and then they had different locations for the dances and mixers and stuff, and I'd always go there and battle people and stuff all the time.
That's so
And,
cool.
yeah.
I remember when we were at the Chameleon for the show that you were at, that you performed at, they had a little, like, before, I think it was that show, there was people were battling, or they were just dancing, and I'd never seen that before. And I love watching dancing. Like, if you get on my TikTok algorithm, it's just a bunch of dancers.
Yeah.
I have like, I probably follow, it's probably one of the most followed profiles on my TikTok, because I just love watching just like quick little dances, like from like either new songs that are coming out, or old stuff, or new songs that I discover. Like, there's just so many good dancers out there. So that's where you're starting. So do you still dance?
Oh man,
You can, right?
I mean, it's been forever. I
Right.
mean, if I have a little something in me, then maybe. But yeah.
So early Spokane memory was going to those dances, and did you go to school here?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I lived in Idaho. I moved.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I'm originally from Santa Maria, California. And
Okay.
then my mom and I moved out to Rathdrum, Idaho.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Culture shock, right?
Oh yeah. Probably about when I was 8, almost 9.
Okay, so you've been in the region for a long time.
About 22 years. Yeah.
Wow. What was it like moving here as a young kid?
Yeah, culture shock to
Yeah.
say the least. It was completely different. I had to go through what I had to go through.
Right, for sure.
But I definitely got blessed with like some of the best people in my life to this day.
Yeah.
So
So I didn't realize that Mike is Mike from Idaho. I should ask him that.
I'm not sure.
That's funny. Well, then, like, when did you start getting like super serious about doing hip hop and like rapping?
So after, I want to say after my daughter, because I mean, her mother, she's a really good singer. She can sing, so she's very musically inclined. And then me, I've always been in love with music, with dancing and stuff. And when I would be, when I was younger at parties freestyling and stuff, and then people were like, dude, you're not normal. And I'm like, what? I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah.
And then I started like stepping back and like checking out my own perspective. I'm like, shit, maybe I could really do something with this. And then and started going. My little cousin in California, he was a producer. Shout out Solo, but he don't go by that no more, unfortunately. So, but he was also an influence as well, and we did a song called "Work." It's on SoundCloud, and that's where I started going. And then from there, I made just a bunch of stuff like "Red Roses." I'm well known for that song too.
So, and is this stuff on SoundCloud too?
Yeah,
this is
SoundCloud,
like
yeah.
this is like SoundCloud rapping. Yeah,
SoundCloud days.
I should have asked for that. Just because like that, I feel like that doesn't exist anymore. SoundCloud. I mean, it kind of does in a way. Like, do you upload your stuff to SoundCloud?
No, not anymore.
Okay.
I just feel like the bigger platforms are just like YouTube and Spotify and Apple Music.
I feel like SoundCloud was more in the mixtape era.
Yeah.
Like it kind of like, I mean, I guess there was Dat Piff and then there's, the other mixtape websites, but like I used to just go through SoundCloud all the time to find new rappers. Like I would like, I think I discovered Chance the Rapper on SoundCloud.
Oh, wow.
And it was, but it's just like, it doesn't really exist anymore, but it is a good way to find like hidden gems from like your favorite artist, because like if you go look up an artist on SoundCloud, like there's a chance that like they might have some of their stuff still up there from when they're really young. Like Tizo Touchdown has a bunch of old stuff on there, and it's just like listening to Tizo Touchdown now versus Tizo Touchdown when he was younger. Like it's very similar, but like he has something like a really good sample. I forget what it's called. I was talking to Top about it on our podcast, but but so then you like, when did you start really like getting serious about it?
Let's see, how old am I now? 29. I'm gonna be 30.
Oh man, you're gonna be 30 soon. Man. Well, wait till you're 40.
I want to say I started taking it more serious about 10, 12 years ago. 10, 11.
And that's like when you started putting it on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like what were some of your early like shows? Like where were you going in Spokane to like perform?
The Pin.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've opened up for Afro Man there.
Nice.
Yeah. And then Kurt Cobain's, that dude that made that Drink in My Cup song. Yeah. Yeah, that too. So yeah, those were my like earlier shows when I was younger and stuff. And then Bendy, shout out Bendy, my boy. He also put me onto a lot of shows as well. And then I think, I'm trying to remember, I threw a show at the Pin called the December Luau.
Okay.
And that was a good one. And then one before that at the Roxy, I opened up for Chewy. And that one was crazy. That's the first time I ever brought my daughter on stage with me.
That's so cool.
And we performed Red Roses together, and we had that. People were saying they felt the floor like going in and shit. How crazy!
I probably have heard you perform Red Roses. It's not on Spotify, correct?
No, it's just on my SoundCloud.
I need to go check it out because I feel like I'm not doing myself service by not really knowing it. What would you like describe the scene like back then versus today? Like, I feel like was there a lot more going on back then, or was it obviously it was probably a little bit different? Like, I just like I'm so unaware of like the scene back in the early like 2010s. Like but I'm always so curious about it.
I feel like honestly it wasn't as poppin' back then as it is now. I mean, my perspective, but I feel like there's a lot of talent out there, especially the younger guys that are putting in the work. Like, yeah, and I just feel like the scene's changed drastically in a good way, though. Yeah, because I mean, different is better than the same.
What? How would you describe the scene back then? Was it just like, was it not as accepting, or was it not as like, or is it just not as many people?
I feel I wouldn't say not as accepting, but definitely not a lot of people. Not a lot to compare to now. You turn a corner and there's an artist, and it's wild.
What do you think has changed that? Do you think it's just the access to being able to create music now?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think especially just you know, you can have like just a normal setup, not even the most expensive setup, and create very well quality music out of it.
Yeah. Where do you record at now?
So a couple places. I record with Bendy, shout out my boy Bendy. My brother Infamous. He's an artist based out of Coeur d'Alene.
Okay.
Dude is crazy. He's very crazy. Also my brother Cookie, shout out him. He's based out of Coeur d'Alene, Post Falls area as well. He's an artist too.
Yeah.
Cookie Bird Music, yeah. And I haven't been in a while, but my boy Moses.
Yeah.
Yeah, Moses.
Yeah. We've connected a couple times on Instagram. I need to talk to him. I need to have him on the podcast because it feels like he's just like a constant in the hip hop scene, like making music. I know he works with Exact Change and Matisse and some and a ton of other people.
Oh yeah, it's years. Like I was going there in the beginning for years. Years. Yeah.
And so all these like. So we guess we can get into it now. Like all these friends, like I know Bendy is, but is this SKEEMN?
So Bendy's SKEEMN, yes.
Okay.
So yeah, Bendy is SKEEMN. He's obviously, you know, the creator and all that. But Cookie Bird Music and my brother Infamous, they're not clicked up or anything, but they're really good brothers of mine, and they're also brothers as well. So
nice. Like. Yeah. What is like, how do you discover these artists? Like, I know like they're friends of yours, but like, it seems like as I've been kind of going down the rabbit hole, and that's actually kind of funny that I call it that because I have a playlist that I used to curate that is just like, I will go down a rabbit hole on Spotify and I'll just find I'll just start listening to people, and then like Spotify will say, oh, you'll be interested in this person. And then I'll listen to them, and I'll like, if I like their track, I'll put it on the playlist. And I just feel like there's so many people out here in Spokane that are creating music, and I just like, I don't know how to connect with them all and like, and find them. Like, where are they?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like, well, there was one good, outlet that Riker was doing for the networking nights out here.
Oh, right.
And I think the last one, I don't think she's doing them out here anymore.
No, I think she started doing those. I mean, I feel like the last one she did was last year. Was here at Black Label. She had done a couple. I spoke at one, and industry night, and it had been the only one I'd went to, and. Yeah, and that doesn't exist anymore. There needs to be something that comes back to where people can hang out and like and meet, because I feel like I missed my chance to really meet people. But that is true. Like there is like a gap with I feel like in the hip hop scene in Spokane of like being able to find each other and support each other. Like I think Instagram exists on a level where people can find each other. But I'm seeing the rise of, you know, of these collectives like and crews like SKEEMN and Affiliated.
Shout out SKEEMN, shout out Affiliated.
And I mean, that's how you stay connected with like people close to you, right? Like, and you have, I imagine SKEEMN works a lot like Affiliated, like Bendy's a producer, right? But like, yeah, it just seems like there just needs to be a way to connect everyone more. So maybe we need to bring an industry night back because it just needs to exist where people of like minds can talk about what they're doing and introduce themselves and find like a community, because like it's one thing to go to a show because like they happen sporadically, like come to High Rise. I'm going to try to get this out before High Rise, because like I feel like that's going to be kind of like an industry night. There'll be a ton of artists there and people celebrating SKEEMN and Affiliated, but like there should be like a monthly get together of like like people introducing each other and finding each other, or like producers finding artists and vice versa. Like it needs to exist on a level where, especially for the younger generation who are like really trying to break into the industry. Yeah. Like it's I've countless amount of times I've gone to shows and people introduce themselves to me, and I like hit me up on Instagram, like try to reach out to me, like, and it's become so many people that it's hard to even like you can only get so much of a vibe on a conversation, like on a message,
absolutely,
on Instagram. So yeah, no, that's interesting. I think we're onto something here. Well, before we get in the rest of what you're doing, let's get into I want to play a quick little game.
Okay.
Called the Spokast Hot List. I know you're from across the border, from Idaho.
That's great.
Should we keep that in?
Keep
oh
it.
my god,
I'm here for it.
I'm so.
You're
that's
good,
how I would normally describe someone being from Idaho, but now that I say it, that is kind of that was rude.
You're good, man.
I'm just joking. I'm not trying to be rude, but we're gonna play a game, and it could be like from places over in Idaho.
Okay.
And the first one that I always say is Park.
Park, Quemeling Park. That's in Idaho.
Is that Coeur d'Alene?
Post Falls.
Oh, Post Falls. Okay.
Yeah.
Coffee.
Ooh, I ain't gonna lie, Idaho again, because they always know my drink, Jitters, man.
Ooh,
Jitters.
But Jitters is all over the place. It's also in Spokane. Yeah. Brewery.
Ooh, shit. I like No Lie. I like the No Lie Brewery.
It has a great patio. I'm gonna ask this question differently later, so don't say a hip hop artist, but artist.
Graffiti.
Oh,
it's crazy.
Godfeedy is Daniel. You're coming on this podcast very soon, right?
Man, he's crazy.
Burger.
Hudson Burger.
Oh my god, I love. How many can you eat?
Man, I could probably do like 3 if I wanted to.
Okay, I've done 3 before.
Yeah,
and I did not feel good about myself afterwards. I love going. Like, I haven't actually gone with my son yet. They've gone other times. I just never gone with my kids. But like, I like doing 2 just because I love it. But even 2 now for me is like a little bit too much. I just love a Hudson Burger though.
Oh yeah, they're bomb. Some people say they're overrated.
Oh, who's that? They need to be called out. I mean, it is one of my favorite burgers. I just don't get over there enough.
Yeah.
Sweet treats.
Like candy and shit?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Or donuts. Or cookies.
You ever had a Sonic Blast from Sonic? It's kind of like a McFlurry, but Sonic.
Oh yeah, I have. Like they're like, oh man,
yeah.
they have them at what are the Dutch Brothers?
Yeah,
they have those too. There was a time I was just on having those, and because they're just such a sugar blast. And I sometimes I'd get, like, speaking of jitters, I'd get like so much caffeine and so much sugar. Those are great. Music venue.
The Chameleon was my favorite.
Definitely.
That sound was crazy.
The new Chameleon is such a. The new sound there is like you can hear it. Like, it's great to be, if you're not up close, you can still hear the music in the back. It's the music has definitely, like, the sound in there has gotten a lot better in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Pizza
Hut.
Neighborhood.
Downtown Coeur d'Alene during the summer.
That's a good,
especially if you got the little one and stuff. Like, there's so much shit to do out there.
Go to the beach.
Yeah.
There is so much to do downtown Coeur d'Alene. Event.
Oh, Coeur d'Alene. I forgot the name of it. It's a block party that I've performed at. That thankful to Bendy for the past 2 years. I got to be a part of that.
Oh, they're like a.
It's
not Coeur d'Alene, but
no. It's
it's not a block party. It's a car show. But they have like they block off a street and they do live show.
Block party. Yeah. It's oh man, what's it called?
Emerge
block. Boom. That's it. Emerge block party.
I looked up Emerge. I mean, I looked up block party Coeur d'Alene YP, and Emerge came up. So.
Oh shit.
That's all. So I need to go to Emerge then.
It's pretty crazy. It's outdoors too.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
And it's because it's right next to that Emerge gallery, and they shut down that part of that street, and they have
like food trucks, and they got like a place where they serve like IPAs and wine.
Yeah,
and
pretty good turnout.
Yeah, a couple hundred. Like,
wow,
in and out traffic.
That's
through.
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to check that out this summer, because like I was talking the other day with someone about like how block parties they haven't done one in Spokane in a while. The one that they had was Elk Fest. They'd shut down part of Brown's Edition and have a really good show, but then neighbors complained, and then now they have like they have something in someone's backyard, but people just need to be able to shut down streets in Spokane and have block parties. Like it just needs to be able to happen. Cool that Coeur d'Alene is doing that. And then the last question I want to ask that's catered to the guest is best rapper in Spokane, not name, or in the region, not name YP.
Ooh. You put me on spot like that, huh? That's too hard, man. I
will say, I'm trying to think of the other hip hop artists that I've interviewed. I'm trying to think of who they've named, and I know Matisse has come up at least once. And so I've heard, like, when it comes to like performing and like or like lyricism, like I've heard, and I don't like comparing people's lyricism, but like you know, one of his songs, and I Do It For is my one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, that one.
Of all time. Like it's just like I play it like it's on daily rotation on my playlist, and I love listening to it because I love the story, and I love to. I just love it. So, but I don't want. You also don't need to put you on the spot.
Man, I'm trying to. I don't know. Man.
There's a lot. That's a good thing. There's so many of them, and I will say, like, there's just a lot of good hip hop coming out of Spokane right now.
There is, because man, I ain't got an answer for that one. I don't know who. I definitely put Matisse up there for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's doing it at like just a different level in Spokane?
There's a lot too. Like,
yeah.
I'd say from experience, like what I've experienced was crazy. Was Top.
Yeah.
That dude's
Yeah, I agree. Like I feel like watching Top, listen to his latest EP, like he's different, and he has that it factor, and I just like I think we all like you have it. I think Exact Change has it. I think Jinx Universe has it. Jang Dagoon has it. Like there's so many people coming out of Spokane right now that like I feel like Spokane is just about to burst with talent, and like even like Young Neves, like there's like so many people like taking it to another level, and like
Bendy's even crazy too at making beats, man. Like him, the homie Carter, that's also part of SKEEMN too. Like they're crazy. Prod Synesthe's crazy too. Like man, they're all just wild.
Well, we're gonna do a SKEEMN show someday, but like that's where I kind of wanted to get to is like SKEEMN, and like how did this like collective start?
With Bendy. Yeah. From the very, very beginning. He told me. He said what we're doing right now, he put it in fruition. Like he manifested that, and like it really. Yeah. Yeah.
What was the antithesis of it? Like what was the reasoning? Just like minds?
He wanted to do something for the community. Definitely put people on that should be on rather than slept on, and really like just uplift everybody, and he's a real uplifter. He's a real positive guy.
I honestly, I've been in the same room with Bendy multiple times, and like me and him have never connected. At least I don't think so. Sorry, Bendy, if we've actually talked and I forgot about it. But like, he does seem like this a really cool guy, and like this, and he's doing great things in the community. Oh yeah, and absolutely. So did like he bring you in, or did?
Oh yeah. He put me on the shows for sure.
Yeah. Is that like the idea behind like having SKEEMN is like you guys help each other get shows, like make music, like is because like I feel like that's a great thing about being a part of a crew is like if someone's performing, like part of your crew's gonna show up for you, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And because I imagine that being out in, especially in our community, like being a solo artist by yourself, like where you don't have like a group of people, feel like you're on an island. Like it feel like it's an uphill battle to like be able to get out there, right? Yeah. Who else is a part of SKEEMN? So Bendy.
See, we got Bendy, we got Bambi, we got Elemental P, we got Prod Synesty, we got Nate, we got Carter, we got Past Life Kenny, we got the homie Josh. I think that's it. Hopefully I ain't missing nobody.
So what? So how many times have you all performed together? Have you had a SKEEMN show yet?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
We've had quite a few. I actually headlined my first one at the Big Dipper. I was the first hip hop artist to sell that place out.
Yeah. When was that?
That was back in April.
Okay.
Yeah.
God.
2023.
I missed that. I guess I was not. I missed it. It's just one of those things. Like, so how did when did you start performing doing this, taking this so seriously? I know we talked about it 10 years ago, but I feel like your Spotify started in 2019. Is that when it you started putting money into it?
Yeah.
And where do you want to take it?
I definitely and people ask me all the time, and if I was to pop off, I wouldn't even care about the fame, I guess, or anything like that. More so, I genuinely want to do it to where I'm comfortable enough that I provide for not only myself, but for my daughter financially by doing something that I love.
Yeah.
That's the main goal.
Totally.
Yeah.
What are the steps to get there? Is it just performing? And
I feel like it's just a mixture of everything.
Yeah.
Hard work and dedication.
Yeah.
Me, I ain't even gonna lie to you. I've slacked off for a while because I'm still trying to figure out, because life is life, and being a full-time single dad.
Yeah.
It's hard trying to balance that with music and real life and sports and school and a job, and it gets tough, and I'm not, fake the funk. I'm not gonna do that, and I still have a difficult time at times. But
yeah, no, I was talking to when I was talking to the Philly crew. I made a comment about I said something like Weekend Warrior rappers, but I feel like it's so hard to make rap your full-time thing when you have to have a job. And how do you balance that?
I just do what I have to do. I have a great, it takes a village,
Yeah.
So man, shout out my mama. She's a blessing for real. If I need her, to help me out with the little one, she definitely does.
Yeah.
Especially if I got to go do a show, or if I got to go even travel for a show or whatever, she knows.
Yeah. I was gonna ask, your logo on your Spotify is a state of California, and I was what are the I feel is that the influences of your music? I feel what are your what was early? What were you listening to as a kid? What were your early influences?
Oh man, so when I was young, I grew up on old school shit. So Tupac, Biggie, but Zapp and Roger and Whitney Houston, Evelyn Champagne, all old school bass G-funk type shit. But also rock as well.
Yeah.
I've had a mixture of everything, but getting older and growing up older, I was definitely influenced by my big bro Ty. Shout out him. Put me on to Lil Wayne. And yeah, man, that shit he's influenced for sure. Especially when it comes to freestyling and stuff.
Yeah. How do you so I overheard you and Mike talking about this, because I was can you do that? Can you freestyle? And have because I know that there's some, it's not everyone's game. Not everyone can freestyle. And I'm not going to put you on the spot right now. I don't have a beat or anything.
I was shit, I'm ready.
But how do you because you said like you are a freestyle rapper and like that's how a lot of your songs come together. Is that like, do you go into the studio and you just start freestyling, or do you like freestyle and you find something there like and you record it? Like, is it like, how do you kind of like, I know you said you can't, you're not good at writing, but you're good at freestyling. That's a form of writing, I feel like, right?
Yeah, I mean, so how I do a mixture of both. So, excuse me, I can go in there and I can make a song like that, but then I also sometimes I slow it down and like I'll freestyle, find the cadence and listen to the beat a couple times, find the cadence. Then when I hear it, then if it comes out right, I write it down, and then I'll do like 4 or 5 bars, lines, and then freestyle the rest.
Wow. And how does it like do you practice that, or do you like, how does it come to your, like in your mind, like how do you like think through, does this come to you?
I honestly, I just tell people life, because like what I talk about is like you know, like shit that I've seen, shit that I've been through. Like I don't sit here and rap about I have a Ferrari and a 12-bedroom mansion on the hills, you know, like I just, you know, I definitely I try to create for people to relate.
When you're like, do you like hear a song and you're like, do you try to freestyle over that and like
I actually play beats like in my truck and shit, like I'll
so you'll like be driving down the road and you'll like be listening to a beat and you'll be freestyling. That's like where you're practicing at.
That's
what you do on your, I listen to podcasts, you freestyle. That's so much cooler.
Some of the homies get annoyed and shit, but shout out y'all, man. But
that's so cool. Well, like, what are you into right now? Like, who are some of the artists that you're into that you're finding inspiration from currently?
So, like, I ain't gonna lie, like, my favorite's Travis Scott. I just fuck with him heavy because he's so different. Yeah. And, like, let's see who else. I've been on a Smino kick lately, too. It's crazy. I like totally different shit, but I also like smooth, like, buttery type shit, like Larry June, like smooth shit. Yeah.
I need to listen to more of Larry June. I haven't listened to enough of him. I listen to Smino. How do you discover music? Do you just like go deep dive into like a Spotify, or do you?
I fall in like rabbit holes and like online, like social media as well, and and I also listen to a lot of like local shit too. So.
Anyone that you're listening to, like people haven't heard of, or not everyday people would have heard of?
There's actually, shout out my brother Jordan Taylor, man. He actually put me on this song. I forgot what it's called. I think the artist, he said he found him on TikTok. Light, I think, Lithe or something. I think. I don't know. It's on my phone.
I know. I've.
I don't think that's not the song, but it might be him.
Okay, well,
he sounds different. Like
No, I love discovering. Like I've actually discovered a lot of my like hip hop on TikTok. A lot of dancers will find good beats that people haven't heard, and then they'll like do dances to them, and then I'm like, I got to listen to that song, and I love going down rabbit holes like that. But yeah, it's always interesting to like talk to, because like I'm not obviously an artist or anything like that, or even a producer. But there's something about the culture and like the feelings behind like hip hop that like I've always been drawn to, just because it's such a vibe. Like, and like the music that you've been coming out with, like the latest 2 tracks, Float and Cold Heart, they're so freaking good, and you have such a good. I say this all the time now. I don't ever try to compare sounds to other artists and you have a very unique style, and
appreciate that. Thank you.
Could never really say like, oh yeah, YP, he sounds like Wayne, or he sounds like this person. Like I don't hear those influences. You sound like yourself, and I'm very excited to hear your new music.
Thank you.
What about your new music? When is it like? How much music are you sitting on? Something I've learned over this last couple of years, are hip hop artists sit on
so much music.
I mean, I have a lot.
Oh wow, that's a lot of music. That's your Google Drive.
F G H I.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That I see the thing. It's going. Oh, I see. That's.
Like some about
What's the number? Is there a number at the top of that drive? Does it say 96 on there?
no.
Oh, it doesn't. Oh, okay.
Oh, they're just
I thought it
numbers
said. I thought it said something there. That's a lot of music.
Yeah.
Is it all like? Is it? Or some of it finished? Some of it not finished? Or is it like it's a mixture?
Yeah, mixture of both. Yeah, that's about 95% unreleased on there.
Yeah.
And the others are obviously my songs, but
Yeah. What like when you have that much music and you're sitting on it, like I'm always curious, like why, like what stops you from releasing it, or like what is it, like you need to master it, or you need to like have another verse on it? What stops you?
so a mixture of both, like mastering on some, also unfinished, just because I'm my biggest critique,
Right.
and I'm always like, other people are like, dude, you just need to drop that shit, like drop all your shit, like it's filthy, and I'm like, damn.
You also you can't just release 50 songs and then expect people to listen. Like that would be like me dropping like 10 podcasts in a week and be like, go listen to my podcast, guys.
Yeah.
Like,
No, yeah. But then I also like go through situations where, like, just this past Thursday, I made like one of my favorite songs I've ever made to this day.
yeah.
And it's great.
Yeah.
It's great, yeah.
Can we expect that song soon?
Yeah, in the near future. I also got a couple that I'm sitting on too for the summer.
Okay. Like some bops.
Oh yeah.
Are you so is a YP EP coming, or is an album coming, or is it
I think I'm gonna drop one or two more singles and then definitely come out with an EP.
okay?
Yeah, it's about time because I got 6 singles I think on my Spotify.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I definitely, it's time for an EP. I mean, I feel like especially if you have some bops and some good, you're sitting on some good shit. Like you need to release something.
yeah.
I want to ask, like, and this is a question I've never really asked an artist is, creating an album versus creating an EP, like, or creating a single, like what is the biggest difference in your mind of releasing, when you're releasing music? Like, I've kind of gotten the vibe from artists is like, I'll release the album next year, or like, it's coming, like, but I'm releasing EPs right now. Like, what is the difference in your mind of an album versus an EP?
I guess, like, and obviously I'm just speaking on my perspective. Everybody's different.
Right,
you know?
yeah.
I feel like an EP is kind of more like a preview of the story.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Kind of
Totally.
like on the outside looking in. And then the album is, well, you got the front of it, but now you're about to get the front, the middle, and the end
Yeah.
story of it all.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess more so.
I always find that like albums are just like, are completely personal to the artist.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know how. I guess more so like an EP would be like a picture book,
Yeah.
and then an album would be a chapter book.
Yeah. Well, that's
So,
a great. I feel like that's a great definition. I mean, I've always. I mean, I'm one of those type of people who like, just if I ever have an idea or something I'm really excited about releasing, or like I just kind of like do it. Like I just like, and I shouldn't say like, it wouldn't be like a podcast, but it'd be like a podcast idea, and I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna just do it, and then like, but then I'll be like, oh, I probably should have thought through that more, because I didn't really think through it, because like I imagine a lot of artists, like they release albums and they're like, and they didn't think through it, and they didn't do it in like a a thoughtful way, and so like
Yeah.
and then it ends up being something that they didn't want out there in the first place. And I totally respect artists for for waiting, because like you don't want to put stuff out there that doesn't reflect your art, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's also like, it is crazy to me that people like that artists, especially in musical artists, like sit on, it sounds like I'm saying it negatively, sit on music for such a long time, but like, but I also understand why they do it, because it's very personal. So
Yeah.
can we talk? I know, like, I want to just talk a little bit about this. Can we talk about the song with Top?
Yeah, we can talk a little bit about it. Yeah.
What? So
Shout out my dog Top.
This,
man.
from what it sounds like, this song will come out this year.
Yes. Oh yeah.
And how did this like collaboration come about?
Shit, honestly, just from him, seeing him put in work, and like just, I feel like his style, like my style, and like his voice and my voice, I feel like can really sonically be crazy.
Yeah.
And shit, I hit him up. We linked up, and the dude made the beat in like 5 minutes in front of me. It was crazy. And then I don't know. I can't even explain like the vibes that happened in there. It was just crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
because the song's not a secret. You performed it at the house party.
Yeah. They're when they did their tour, and they had it the house party show out here. We performed it. It was crazy.
Now I feel like I need to be transported back to that moment so I could appreciate. That's one thing when you're at a show, like you kind of like, because like I would go to the show, I'm like, oh, I want to see Jang, I want to see Top. Like I really wanted, like I had never seen Top perform live.
Yeah.
And then there was everyone else performed, and that was what the one really cool thing about that house party was, just like everyone was so much like awesome. Like it was so fun to see everyone out there.
Oh yeah.
And to see you come up and do like a feature, like I don't know anything about what's going on in the scene, and like the fact that you were up there with Top performing with him that single that hasn't came out yet, like I didn't appreciate it, and I imagine other people didn't, but like that must have been a cool moment.
Oh yeah, it was.
I remember you coming up to Matisse and having some nerves.
Yeah, it was funny because Matisse hit me up after that. He's like, "Bro, that song is fucking crazy."
Yeah,
and he's like, he's definitely he's excited for that one to come out for sure.
That's awesome.
Shout out Matisse, man.
How can people find you? Where are you going to be? Like, I know you don't have any dates yet, but like this spring, summer, new YP songs.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Expect something in May.
Okay.
Expect something in May.
Expect something in May.
Yeah.
And yeah, where can people find you?
On Spotify, they can find me on Apple Music under YP, and on my Instagram too, in my bio, official YP Music.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining me on Spokast. The last question I always ask, and I have to kind of change a little bit for you because but why the Inland Empire region?
Because it's different. It's different in all aspects. Pacific Northwest is just blowing up right now. It's going crazy.
Yeah.
It's going crazy to like, in comparison of like, the west side of California and like LA, that area and all that. Like, I feel like you could put the PNW up there.
I think so too. Like, what do you? We've probably talked a little bit. What are you excited about? Like, what is happening over this? Like, I just feel like, is it the music? Is it the shows? Like, what? I mean, I'm sure it's all of it, but like, what are you like really, really excited for?
The artistry.
Yeah.
I really.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I really want to see uprise and upbring with everybody. Like, I want everybody to win.
Yeah.
Like, there ain't no, like, that ego shit was back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, that's gone now.
I love that. I love the saying, like, a rising tide raises all ships, or something like that.
Yeah.
Because it's very true. Like, the better our scene gets, the better the artistry gets, the more that this will influence everyone. Like, it doesn't even have to be the younger generation or the younger artists. Like, it's everyone. Like, when you see someone making good music, I think it just makes other people want to make good music, and it doesn't have to be a competition. We can all be doing this together and celebrating art together. And I think that's what's beautiful about it. And it's like, it is exactly why I want to be featuring more artists and people doing stuff in the scene on the podcast, because I think like you don't have to be releasing a new album to like, or a new single to be like, to be making music. Like you can be, and that needs to be said. Like, it doesn't have to be like, you got to be promoting something. Like, there's always something to be excited about. And I might have been like a little bit annoying about like, hey, do you got any new music coming out? But like, it is like, even the stuff that's already out there, like go listen to YP's music on Spotify, on Apple Music, like go support him there, and like make a playlist, put artist music on a playlist that are like, I shouldn't be the only one putting artists on their playlist. Like, if you like someone's music, make a playlist. I don't think people realize how important that is to put music on your playlist. Like, everyone has a playlist. Like, if you listen to a song, you like it, put it on a playlist. Yeah. Like, everyone makes playlists of all these humongous artists. Like, Beyonce doesn't need to be on another playlist. Like, I mean, she's on some of my playlists, obviously, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, there is amazing music being made in Spokane, and it needs to be shared. Like, it's always bizarre to me when you go on to Spotify and I'm like seeing like that someone's song's not on at least 10 playlists. Yeah. Like, and because I know people are listening, or I know people are finding music, so like, steal music off my playlist, make your own playlist. You know, like it's really, I put the other day someone like reached out to me like, hey, can you put my song on your playlist that I made, the Spokane Sounds playlist? And I was like, oh, I'm only doing 2024 songs. And then I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna take the year off of it. I'm just gonna make it Spokane Sounds, and then just put like music that I think is really good onto the list, because I put Float onto the Spokane Sounds playlist. You. I appreciate that. And like, because I want it to be representative of all the music that's coming out of Spokane, and it doesn't have to be based on a year. Like, it needs to be just inclusive to everyone, because like a song that came out today was probably from an artist, might have been made 2 years ago or 3 years ago sometimes. Like, it's a date doesn't really matter. So I want to be more inclusive of including more what I think is this great music, and what you're creating is great. And I'm excited for the future of YP, and and SKEEMN and all the things. And again, thank you so much for being on Spokast.
Thanks for having me, man.
Thank you all for listening. Till next time, peace.
I want to change this game like I'm losing in Madden 30-6. Like that, y'all. Some people, they fiend for things they've already seen. I think they wanted me to be like that, y'all. But it wasn't my scene. I started doing these things that made them say they can't do it like that, y'all. Hell no, they can't do it like that, y'all. Hell no, they can't do it like that, y'all. Hell no, they can't do it like that. Hold up. Without a day. Hey, somebody better tell Ellen that I'm on the way. Somebody tell Charlamagne, hey, I'm on the way. There ain't a stage in this world that I couldn't play. Coachella with a full live band would make sense. DJ sets